Hey there, I occasionally get questions via email or in the comments about engineering, and I got one here last week that I think a lot of people could benefit from, so I'm going to read the question and then give my response on this video. See what you think. All right, this is from Nicholas. He says, "Hello Quint, I'm a fan of your work and the way you use math and science to answer abstract problems like your rain gutter generator. I'm 21 years old, and just like you, I too was fascinated with the internal combustion engine in high school, but instead of engineering, I chose automotive service technician with not the faintest care for math and science, just good enough to pass. Fast forward 4 years, and I'm now at a crossroads. My passion for automotive service is not the same as it was, and my interest in math and physics has done a complete 180. As I come to the completion of my apprenticeship, I am seriously looking at new career possibilities. I see what you do using oscilloscopes and lathes to build and understand the world around you, and I'm interested in doing the same. My question is, what advice would you give to someone who is on the fence about entering a highly academic world like engineering? Keep up great work. None of the math or explanations are ever boring and are always entertaining, Nicholas." Well, thank you, Nicholas, and thanks for this question. First off, congratulations on completing or nearly completing your apprenticeship. That's a big deal. You signed up for this, sounds like a 4-year program, and that takes a lot of guts and determination to see that through, which is a good sign that maybe you'll find success with an engineering program, which is also a 4-year, give or take, maybe 5-year program, depending on how it goes. But yeah, I wanted to answer this question publicly because I know a lot of people out there are interested in the same thing. Being an engineer has never been more sexy than it is right now. You've got guys like Destin from Smarter Every Day, you've got Mark Rober, and a handful of others that they have an engineering degree and they're showing all these mad skills that they have on things they can build and explaining cool stuff. It's like, dang, I want to be like that guy. And yeah, it is, honestly, being an engineer is pretty sweet. The pay is pretty good. There's this automatic level of respect you get from most folks anyway, that, oh, that guy's an engineer. He had to do all this stuff. He's a smart dude. And there's this camaraderie among other engineers knowing that you all completed this same task of math and these grueling assignments and things that you had to do. There's just this automatic recognition of sort of that shared effort. But to be perfectly honest, getting to that point kind of sucks. School is a lot of math and theory and just problems that you're having to solve. I liken it to like a military selection process. Now, I was never in the armed forces. I've had family members who were, but you hear about like the special operations or those kinds of things where you're being weeded out. They're basically, how badly do you want to be here? And though in engineering school, nobody's gonna have you on your back doing flutter kicks with spraying water in your face, you will feel like you're up against a wall late at night working on these homework problems that just seem impossible. I remember spending an hour on a homework problem and not really feeling like I'd gotten anywhere with it, but you just keep working at it. It's like, I really want to do this, and eventually you figure out how to solve those, and then you have this skill, this ability to get through these seemingly impossible problems. So yeah, the question comes down to, how badly do you want this? And can you hack 4 years of symbolic math to be able to get through it and get to that end state that a lot of people want? Now, I will tell you, every engineer that I've ever worked with has a story about a professor that was just a jerk or could not see past, their own nose. Typically it's I was taking this exam and I knew the material and I got the right answer on this problem, but the professor wouldn't give me credit for that problem simply because I didn't write the equation out the way that they wanted. And that can be maddening when you have studied hard and you know the material and you know the right answer and you got it there, and you know in the real world how you wrote it isn't generally going to matter. Your boss is only going to care the results. Yet that's not how it works in school. Now, I also had awesome professors that, I mean, it was like story time going to their class. They'd tell you about a problem that they encountered in the real world and how they solved it, and they'd use it as a way to teach you the basics of some of these fundamentals. And it was fantastic. I looked forward to going to those classes. So just like anything, it depends on the person that you're interacting with, and the better the professor, the better your experience is going to be. Now, the cost, as I think everybody knows, for getting an engineering degree, or really any degree these days, is substantial. I've said elsewhere in my videos that my wife and I, we both graduated from Oregon State University, very different degrees, but between the two of us, we had about $50,000 in debt when we graduated, and had to work. Took us like 7 years, I think, to pay all that off. But I think today, I was just looking at the tuition prices, and you're probably gonna be lucky to have $50,000 just yourself, and when you finish the degree, and that's a lot of money. So what can you do to help out with that? Well, one, you may qualify for financial aid and grants and things like that. So, find an engineering program at a school that's hopefully in your state, and go look up the course requirements and find out what's there, and look under financial aid and things like that to see what you might qualify for. The other thing you can do is go to a community college. Looking up the tuition, it looks like a community college is like half the price or less than going to the full-on university. And while I went to the university for all 4.5, close to 5 years, my dad, who got his master's degree in fisheries or some is biology, he did both. He started out at community college and then went to university after that. And according to him, some of the professors that, yeah, you're paying less money to go to this community college, but some of his best professors were at those community colleges, and he said because they were there to teach, where at universities, a lot of the professors might be there focused on research, and the teaching is just something they have to do to participate in that. So you can imagine what the classes are going to be like when your professor is not super excited about it. So don't think just because you're paying less at a community college that you're somehow getting a lesser product, because it might actually be better. Another thing you can do to help manage the cost is to get work to pay for it. So if you're already working somewhere, a lot of places have, what do they call it? Tuition reimbursement program, something like that. They'll pay for a portion and sometimes all of it to go get this degree, that then they can have someone that is an engineer level that knows all these systems that you've learned in whatever job that you're doing. Now, that may not be the case for an automotive service technician. A dealership probably isn't going to hire a full-on engineer, but you get the idea that if you can get the company to help pay for some of this stuff, then that's tremendous at helping offset the cost. The other thing you can do is, if you're not sure if you want to commit and fully jump into this as a program or sign up for all this debt, is to, I mentioned looking up the course requirements at a university, someplace that has an engineering program, and find like I was just doing this at Oregon State University. I looked up and saw the same program I was in. The first mathematics course was Math 251, which is like differential equations or something like that, but it's basically the first calculus course. And if you're not sure if you can hack the math, or you think you like the math, go take that first class. It's probably offered at a community college. I'm guessing the first 2 years of the engineering program are probably offered at a community college, and get those out of the way. But sign up for that one class. Go take it in the evenings and just do that. It's going to be 4 credit hours, so look up whatever the cost of that is, and go take that class and see how you do. And if it's like, I can't stand this. This is the worst stuff on the planet. I can't imagine doing this for 4 years full time, then probably don't want to sign up for the rest of that engineering program and all the debt that comes with it, because that's what you can expect for the remaining 4 years. Now, for me, I remember my junior year just being like, oh my gosh, I still have another year and a half of this at least to go. This is so difficult. I'm not sure I'm in the right place. And then I got signed up with an internship program called MECOP, which I believe was started at Oregon State University, where they partner up with companies in the state and even in other states, where students can go work for 6 months and get some engineering experience doing an internship, and then come back and do some more schooling, and then go and do another 6-month internship. So you graduate with literally a year of experience across 2 different organizations, which is fantastic. But yeah, in the middle of my junior year, when I was just like, oh my gosh, this is so tough, am I really cut out for this? Went to my first internship and loved it. Every day that I woke up, I was just like, yes, I get to go back to this place with mechanical problems that I get to throw my brain at and try to solve. I saw it as like a puzzle that I just needed to figure out the right answer, how to put it together. And my mentor at the end said I was the best intern that he had had working for him to date. So I took that as a sign that, yes, I was meant to be an engineer, and I am on the right path. And I went back to school, rejuvenated, energized, and ready to just like, okay, I just need to be able to hack this remaining, 2-3 terms, whatever it was, another internship, and get out there into the workplace, and I can enjoy doing this career that I believe I want to do. And that's how it worked out, and it was awesome. And then once you have your career, you can do sort of self-directed learning. I know a lot of folks, they end up going back and getting their master's degree. Some of them even go on and get their PhD. I can't imagine that. I had just getting a BS in engineering was enough for me. I do not need any more schooling, and I enjoy this self-directed, at my own pace learning that I can do online, playing with an oscilloscope, working with power supplies, things that they did not cover in my particular degree that I might have gotten if I'd done electrical engineering and done more of a controls background. But yeah, Nicholas, for somebody like yourself that has already gotten a lot of hands-on experience doing this automotive thing, it could be somebody that has been a CNC machinist or a millwright in a shop. Any of that hands-on stuff, I feel, complements an engineering degree really well. I've worked with a few engineers that did that. They were a machinist for a while, or some other sort of blue-collar job before they went to engineering school, and they're some of the best engineers I've ever worked with. That hands-on experience really helps balance out the theoretical that we get in engineering school, and will ground you in the practical, when others might be tempted to always grab the calculator, always grab the theory side of it, and figuring that's the only answer, when the truth is they complement each other. You have to balance it out. You do some of the theory, and then you do the empirical experimentation and find your way to the answer. And a lot of engineering is just trying to strike that proper balance, in my personal experience. So yeah, Nicholas, I would encourage you to go for this, try it in some way, whether you're ready to jump in full on or just try an individual class. You could do really well, and if you truly do like the math and the physics side of things, that's going to serve you extremely well. So there you go, everybody. Hopefully that was helpful. If you think so, let me know in the comments if I should be answering more questions like this. I really have no interest to be a podcast host or anything, but I still do like helping people and being able to give advice that I did not have exposure to when I was making this decision to become an engineer. So yeah, I'll continue to do this, especially if, say, you tell me in the comments that this was helpful. So that's all for now, and I'll see you in the next video.